between a butterfly attractor and any other flowering plant? Well, we're going to talk about it. So, the thing about butterfly attractors, okay, so all butterflies and insects are attracted to most flowering plants. But have you ever bought a plant at a garden center or a nursery because they told you it was a butterfly attractor? You got home and the butterflies didn't seem to care about your plant? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. So, there are all different kinds of nurseries and plant gardens and garden centers that sell flowering plants. The difference between just a simple butterfly attractor and a nectar plant and a host plant. So some plants are both attractors, I should say all three, attractors, nectar plants, and host plants. For example, milkweed. Milkweed there's a variety of milkweeds that have different colored flowers on them. So a milkweed plant is a butterfly attractor, it is a nectar plant, and it is a host plant. So for the milkweed, it is a host plant for your monarch caterpillars. It is a nectar plant for many species of butterflies as well as bees. But it is only the host plant for monarchs. Now we have, this is Mexican heather, right? It's very pretty. It has a small little purple flower on it. Mexican heather is only a butterfly attractor. It is only a nectar plant because the Mexican heather is not used by any butterfly or insect as a host plant. The bees are going to love it. The butterflies may or may not go for it. Butterflies can be a little picky, especially if you have a true nectar plant for them, such as Penta. So this is Penta. Penta comes in pink, red, and white. And it is a nectar plant that monarchs love and swallowtails. They love Penta. Penta is a great nectar plant if you're looking for a plant in your garden that's truly going to attract butterflies and is truly going to be a nectar plant that the butterflies are going to love. The Penta is definitely a choice for you. I like to plant the Penta. I like to plant a white one, a pink one, and a red one. I like to give them variety, and it looks really pretty in the garden if you bunch them up together, a red one, a pink one, and a white one. Then we have, this is commonly called butterfly weed. Its proper name is Buglia or Budgelia. Different people pronounce it different ways. It has this cone shape that it gets full of flowers. This is a major favorite for the swallowtails. Swallowtails love butterfly weed. Butterfly weed comes in dark purple, white, pink, and just purple. So if you're interested in having a real butterfly attractor that's a great nectar plant for your swallowtails and your monarchs, definitely the butterfly weed is the way to go. Like I said, it comes in purple, dark purple, pink, and white. Then we have, this is a red flame spike plant. If I can get it up here. You see the flowers? So this is not just a butterfly attractor, it is also a hummingbird attractor. And it's called a fire spike because, of course, it looks like little fire spikes, right? So this is going to attract butterflies. They're not necessarily going to really treat this as a nectar plant, but butterflies love the color red. They're very attracted to the color red. So if you have red flowers in your garden, you are definitely going to be attracting butterflies. So what you want to pay attention to is the plant that you're choosing, a nectar plant or just a butterfly attractor. So not all butterflies like all plants. If you are wanting to have, say, monarchs in your garden, you're going to want to have the milkweed, you're going to want the Penta, the lantana, and of course the butterfly weed. The Mexican heather is very pretty, but it's not a nectar plant. So I'm spending today pulling up plants in my garden because, like all of us, we go to the garden center, we go to the nursery, and we say, okay, there's a sign that says butterfly attractor, right? And it's a pretty flower, and so we buy it. And then we get home and it's like, no butterflies like this plant. Why is that? So if you really want butterflies in your garden, you need to decide, number one, what kind of butterflies do you want to attract? Monarchs are one of the easiest to attract and stay around. And then swallowtails are the second easiest to attract and keep around. So if you want monarchs to come to your garden and stay in your garden, your best bet is going to be the milkweed. The milkweed, because it's a nectar plant and a host plant. And then either the penta or the lantana or both. And the butterfly weed. If you're wanting swallowtails, swallowtails is a little bit harder because you've got to have what we call herb plants for them, right? So swallowtails, particularly black swallowtails, their host plant is parsley. Yes, parsley like we put on food, and dill, and fennel. Now the thing about parsley is parsley grows in a nice round clump, but dill grows straight up. So dill can be very tall and has a very strong smell. So dill and parsley are the two favorite host plants for the swallowtail, but for the nectar for them, you're going to want butterfly weed, penta, and lantana. And then the swallowtails will stay in your garden. If you're interested in cluteries, particularly Gulf cluteries, they want passion flower. Their passion flower is their host plant as well as their nectar plant. Gulf cluteries are a little pickier. There's not a lot of nectar plants that they like. They like their passion flower because it's the whole kit and caboodle for them. So if you're going to want Gulf cluteries in your garden, you're going to have passion flower. Passion flower is a vine, so you're going to need to have a trellis for it to run on, and it will take up some space. So if you're looking for something smaller to keep a little bit more contained, your swallowtails and your monarchs are definitely the way to go. Another thing that I wanted to mention today was if you plant something in your garden such as I have and come to find out the butterflies don't care for it, make sure that the next plant that you buy is going to be okay in that area. For example, the butterfly weed, it likes to be bushed out. So you don't want to put a plant next to it where it can't bush out. Now penta is going to bush out as well, but not near as much as the butterfly weed. And you can trim the penta back and keep it under control. When you're trimming back the butterfly weed, and this one here is perfect because it needs to be trimmed back, you're going to take the dead flower off of it. You're going to come back to not the first two leaves at the bud, but the next two leaves at the bud, and that is where you're going to cut the plant. My scissors fell apart, so hold on, bear with me here. Let me get my shears. So we're going to take this one and get this out of the way. We're going to cut it right down here. So this is how much we cut off. This is the dead bloom. If we keep this plant trimmed, it will come back and be nice, fully bloomed, but you do have to trim it back. So once again, we're taking the bloom that is no longer blooming. We're coming down to not the set of leaves where the bud came out, but the next set of leaves. This one has a new one starting, so it's going to be okay to cut it right where that new bud is starting. You want to cut it at an angle, either an upward angle or a downward angle. And you're going to encourage this plant now to have new growth. And that's how you keep your blooming flowers blooming. Of course, if it's the season for them to bloom. I want to thank you for joining me, and this is Fluttering Dreams. And remember, your butterfly garden is just a flutter dream away. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would really love to have you come visit my garden. Have a great day.